that's another one that I find myself playing. 'Cause I like having an
Right.
iPod,
Yes.
and even I have all the albums on them.
Yes.
I pick out certain ones that come out playlists.
Right.
Like I said, the ones I don't get played as much.
Correct.
The
Well,
ones I like.
you'll find that
I
musicians.
mean, I like them all. Don't get me wrong.
No,
The
I'm
ones
saying
that-
to you, vast majority of times, unless things have changed drastically, if you spoke to Stevie Wonder or you spoke to Benny King or any artist that you could think of that record at the highest level, and you hear a song makes it as the number one song, 9 out of 10 times, and you ask those guys, be honest, was this the one you were looking to make it? And they'll probably tell you no. And they'll play you or tell you about another song on the album that they cherish or love. Or they might well like that one too, but here's this one that never saw much airplay or anything like that. That they know that their heart and soul went into it just as much or even more than the one that the people say is the one that they like. And you cannot determine that. Once the songs go there, you cannot determine which is the one that people would like. But at the end of all of that, it is once you have done it at the highest level, instead of this thing where you go in the studio and get it as quickly as you can, which I can't stand. But then guys do it because of economics. They do it also because of the fact that you know it's going to be pirated. You know you're not going to make any money from it. You know that most of your stuff will be from live performances. But as a rule, you want to make music. In fact, my friend Harry Belafonte told me one time that his mother told him, do not record any songs you do not like, because you may end up having to sing it for the rest of your life. So I don't record nothing that I don't like.
Yeah,
In other words, that song might become a hit.
Right.
I pain you on inside here
Right, yeah.
to go somewhere and sing it and sing it and sing it and sing it.
Yeah, but which brings me to this question.
Yeah.
Have you think you ever written a bad song? Seeing that you won't record songs that you like, for instance,
I have
you,
not-
you
I
wrote
don't
a
think-
song and said, I don't want the way the chords are moving or
No.
Yeah.
Because I would never finish that song.
So then you have a lot
Irving,
of
Irving Berge,
right.
is a very, very close friend of mine. You know, he wrote songs like Island is Sun and
Saturday Saturday on the way.
oh my God.
Jamaica Farewell,
He wrote a lot of great songs. The Harry Belafonte did a lot of them. And Irving always just say to me, Gabby, you know, the ones that we like are the ones not necessarily that make it big, you know. Irving is in his 80s now, swims every night, lives in Queens, very fit, very alert, very sharp, very intelligent, you know. And like I said, in my life, I might not make the big, huge, multi, whatever things, dollars that other people make. But boy, I could not have asked for a fuller life than the one that I had. I would not have seen so many countries had it not been for this music. Yeah. Well, as far as fusing the music is concerned, music is only 8 notes juggled, as you know, Jeff. So I don't put too much emphasis on this is that and that is that. However the music comes, how we feel it. And Eddie Grant is of the same feeling. Put it down. You know, let somebody else label it. But you make it so that you can feel comfortable. Don't be narrow in the music, because music has no boundaries. So if you think that a little Latin should go here, or you think a little jazz should go here, or a little blues, or a little whatever, you know, something that had never been done, some African drum somewhere or other coming up, do it. Just make the music. Don't think of this is what the market needs, or what the market dictates, or what the market is asking for, or what the market would accept. Make what makes you happy, and you know, time will tell what will happen. Even if time doesn't do it in your lifetime, that doesn't make it end. Your children or your grandchildren or your great grandchildren can look back with pride and say, hey, look what my great grandfather did all back in the year 2008. You know, that's what it's all about.
So how do you see your legacy?
Me, legacy. I don't know. All I know, I made some music in my time. I tried to help other artists. I've been fortunate. I don't think that there has been in my genre, any artists who have written for more other artists, or even people who compete against them and all that, than I did. I know Babyface would have done so for other artists. I know, the other art people would have done so. Ashford and Simpson and other people like oh gosh, Smokey Robinson and so on and so forth. But what I'm saying, yes, but at the end of the day, I feel proud to know. Look, Jeff, let me put it this way. I know that the amount of songs I wrote in a lifetime, it would be impossible for me to go in the studio, record all of them, sing all of them. And I have never been a selfish person. My family have never been a selfish family. So therefore, I can't be thinking of, oh my God, this one might be a hit. I better keep this for myself. I can't think like that. Because the minute I begin to think like that, I begin to think selfishly. I must be a free spirit all the time. If it hits, God bless the people. I will still get rights. I still get royalties as the composer. So what?
That's good. I would say I was fortunate to be born at the time when Barbados had such great bands. There were a lot of bands and a lot of good artists.
Yes.
Not trying to sound prejudiced, but I think some of the best singers came out to Barbados of the Caribbean. We had the best diction, if you will. It was more clear to understand, and some of the sweetest voices.
Yes.
Clarence Thompson,
natural.
So, Herman Ford.
You can go on and on. Tony
Grisette,
Stout, Tony Norville,
right.
Jake Skirton. You could go on and on.
There was a guy called Bago, young guy.
Of course,
Mickey
Brad
D,
Evening.
Don Allenby,
yes.
So many names you can call. And the amount of bands that they had.
Mickey D.
Right. And what's amazing was that there were so many bands and there was so much work.
Yes.
That on a given Friday and Saturday night or even a given week, everybody was working.
Yes, correct.
I still see the same. The population has increased. The technology in Barbados has become more, let's say.
But see, people are doing more things, and that's why the bands don't survive like the bands back then. But I was making a point earlier about people and Jackie Opel and looking at his singing.
Right.
But they didn't realize Jackie who played saxophone, Jackie who played guitar, Jackie who played drums. Right? Jackie Opel wrote and created rhythms, not just the spoons rhythm. Jackie, and oh, by the way, I have to say this. I was watching PBX out of New York a few weeks ago, and there was this guy, an old man, and he said, look, I might as well say, all of the rhythms in New Orleans that we got came from the Caribbean. Now, if I didn't hear him say that, I would not have known that. Because I always respected New Orleans as a place that created this thing. And the guy said, no. They came out of the Caribbean and primarily speaking the French-speaking Caribbean, like I said, Lucia, Martinique, Guadeloupe, etc., etc. Because they were able to settle easily into the French quarters because they spoke the same Creole, right? And, and some of them actually spoke French.
Right.
So, all I'm saying, like, I'm glad that has been clarified, as Americans say, clarified, so that we can see for ourselves that truly the Caribbean has made a tremendous contribution to the arts. And it's simple. Where did the Caribbean got it from? The Caribbean got it from Africa.
Motherland.
From the motherland.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And I'm proud to know that God gave me the opportunity to visit Africa so many times, have so many African friends, so many Caribbean friends, whether it be from Jamaica, Trinidad, St. Lucia, Grenada, Antigua, St. Kitts, St. Vincent, Dominica, St. Lucia, I called that already, Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua. I mean, I have worked in about 13 of the CARICOM states. And Cuba, I have friends all over Cuba, right? Because to me, music is just music. I met great producers, great script writers out of Cuba, out of Panama.
Like you said, 12 notes.
For me, it's 8 notes
Yeah,
juggled.
Yeah.
You just do the rest.
Yeah, the chromatics coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, eh, you know, I think that the day is coming when we will be able to play music from Brazil and feel comfortable because it belongs to us. Because when you check the Bahia and you check the people in Nigeria, especially that part of Nigeria, like western side and so on, and you hear the rhythms and you hear the feel and you hear the language and all that, it is the same thing. It is the same thing. That's how the Brazilians play those drums like that. It's real simple. And then when you go into Spain now and knowing that the North Africans ruled Spain for nearly 700 years, I mean, it is such a fascinating thing. And I always said I am grateful to people like the same Van Sertima, Ivan Van Sertima out of Guyana, with all his research, showing you that the pyramids in Egypt and the pyramids in Mexico, same people found arrowheads, golden arrowheads that were identical in each area, you know, and you could go on and on and on and on and on, drums, this, that, and third, so that when you have that perspective in your head, you become a universal person. You become a worldwide citizen, even though you're born in a small place like Barbados. But your head does not limit itself to any small geographic area. It is expanded, and as musicians will say, it is augmented into a different sphere. And you travel freely within that sphere.
Exactly. All right, Gabby, it's been interesting talking to you. You got a lot of. Well, I know you was always a knowledgeable fella, but I remember on the Toronto trip, with Grain and stuff,
Yes, Grain, a great artist.
Yeah, we had,
great.
We were hanging out at the house and stuff and talking and different things, but not to the depth of what we just covered here.
Yes.
And I know that there's a lot more in you as far as music, because Gabby's music.
Yes. I want to say something. Why I don't go into this nonsense about who from what area and from what country, but music don't have those barriers. But I have only one regret which can never be rectified, and it is this: that I did not get the chance to meet with Paul Robeson in his lifetime.
Right.
Because I have friends like Farrakhan, I have friends, like the same Belafonte, Eddie Grant, Benny King. I mean, Mick Jagger. But when you talk to these people, their minds are so wide that I don't know why people always want to limit them to music. Why would you interview Eddie Grant or Mick Jagger and ask them only about music?
Right.
Their brains are so massive. It extends beyond belief. And every time you ask them a question, you ask them some stupidness about something to do with music. I'm not saying that music is stupid. I'm just saying, please tax their brains,
in other words,
and you might be able to get something out of those brains that can help the whole world.
See beyond them other than an artist.
Yes.
Just see them as.
Yeah, but even if you see them as an artist, see them as an intelligent artist who can contribute to the development and improvement of the world, the environment. Look, I'm a man who very, very much into environment. I am very concerned with the building of all these hotels on the west coast of Barbados, because I know it's going to destroy it.
Right.
An American man in 1967 told me that, he said, enjoy it, you're enjoying the last of it. I said, what are you talking about? He said, in 30 years' time, your reef's going to be gone. This going to happen. The man must have died right now. And he was almost in tears when he spoke, because he could see something coming that I couldn't see as a boy, right? All I'm saying, I'm begging the people who are in authority now, please don't pump any more raw sewage into the sea. Please look after the reefs. Please look after the environment in terms of pollution and etc. Look, they had to close down some big factories in China recently just to hold the Olympic Games because the pollution was so great.
Right.
Look at Los Angeles, some days you can hardly see. Look at Mexico City, you can hardly breathe. Some days the children don't go to school. You know, that is madness.
Barbados is a gem that should be cherished and look, living in North America,
Yes.
coming back here, I'm seeing where people just simply take Barbados for granted as an island, and there's so much has been done within the amount of time that I left here.
Yes.
And each time I come back, I see progress and more progress. But the attitudes are like, well, this is Barbados and it belongs to being sweet and we enjoy it. You can't tell us what to do with it. But you should start, like you said, preserving.
Yes,
the
because
island,
why are we not thinking the way how our grandparents thought to preserve it for us? So
Right.
why can't we try to preserve it for
the
the
next generation?
future? Not just this next generation, but
future.
for future generations. You know, I mean, like when you think of the American Indian, and you think of what they did, they were so advanced that today people are studying the ways by which they were able to keep the environment friendly, to keep the place clean, to keep the place pollution free, you know, to keep it in pristine condition. All I'm saying, we have the opportunity now, because other than that, the generations that come in the year 2040 and 2080 and 21 this and 22 that and 23 that, they're going to be very upset with us. Ask, why did we do in such a short time so much damage to this space which we call Earth?
Yeah, well, we done for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And amazingly, what was supposed to be 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
It's almost an hour, so it's going to be edited down.
Yeah, but makes no difference.
But it's good to have this as something as preservation here, because very few people get to talk to artists, like you say, one-on-one off the cuff. And when I interview people, like you said, being a musician, I try to limit it beyond, like, not just music, but beyond music, you say, and find out from the person themselves who they are. Because people see Gabby on stage and they don't know the other side of Gabby.
Yes.
And they figure, well, they got their opinions, but they don't really know the real person. And at times, you're normally taken for granted just by the way you look, the way you walk, the way you talk,
correct,
the way you might do things.
Yes.
And then people say, I never knew he was like, he's such a nice fellow, I never knew he was like that. I thought he was, because you have looked like he's just stuck up or something like that. And
well, you see, life is like that. Unfortunately, not many people get to know people on a personal level. So the impressions, that's why you hear a lot of people say that impression or perception is as good as reality, because sometimes that can play in that manner. But to me, what you see is what you get. I am not a show off. I don't like to say things I cannot back up. I don't like to live the fancy life. I like simple life. I like natural food. I don't know. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't eat meat. But it doesn't mean that I will criticize someone for doing that. I might encourage them to eat better, or to live a more healthy lifestyle. But I would not be critical of them at all. I won't criticize them because they're overweight or something like that. That's a madness. I mean, although one time, 20, 30 years ago, I might have done that out of stupidity. But as I grew older, I get to understand that, you can't do that. And truly, I just love human beings. I don't care how big you are, how small you are. I just
in other words, you're people as a person.
Yes. And some of my closest friends in the world are people that are like huge. I don't see that. I just see only the spirit and the love that they have.
The heart,
Yes.
All right, interesting. Thanks for the interview. I'll YouTube this, when I get back up, edit it, and
Jeff, I appreciate it, and I thank you very much.
Yeah.
And to all my fans and friends and family out there.